welcome once again to Let's Talk Marriage. All right. This is Pastor Larry coming to you this Wednesday afternoon with Let's Talk Marriage. All right. We're going to get right on into our program. I hope everyone is doing well. If you woke up this morning, guess what? You are doing well. All right. We're going to get right on into our program. On the program today, we're going to be talking about a good man, just simply a good man. We talked about supported all of our women last month, the month of February being the Valentine's month. So this month we're going to be supporting our brothers out there. Give a brother a break. Because there's so many times that women pray and ask the Lord to send them a Boaz and Leroy or Henry or Frank or whoever. And the Lord sent them these people or this soulmate, and they don't know how to treat him. Don't cook for them. Now, let me get something clear. Make something very, very clear. When the Lord sends you somebody, or if the Lord sends you somebody and he's your soulmate, that doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to be going to church. Sometimes the Lord will send you somebody that don't go to church because he know they have potential and he know you have the means to get them there. Because I know when I first met my wife, she was going to church, but she wasn't. She hadn't completely given her life to the Lord, but she was going to church. She was in church. But the thing is, when the Lord sends you somebody, because you ask the Lord for somebody, Lord, send me a soulmate, send me a Boaz or whoever. And the Lord send you these people, and you think that they're going to be in the church shouting around and running up and down the aisles and speaking in an unknown tongue and all that. That's not going to always happen. The Lord will send you somebody that somebody's mother was praying for. Lord, send him a good wife. And then along comes you, and you come along, and just because he don't go to church every Sunday with you, you got to nag him and, oh, you need to get it right, you devil. You know, do you think that's gonna get him in church by you doing all that? And and then you every day he might hear you praying and talking about how much you love the Lord, and you can't even fix him a decent meal. Come on, people, make some sense. What kind of sense is that? And how you going to get him in the church if you're doing that? So we have to make sure that we are supporting our men, especially the good ones. We're not talking about the no good ones. We always talk about them. But today we're going to be talking about the good men. Because, when you have these, when the Lord sends you these soulmates, you have to be thankful, you have to be grateful, and you have to be appreciative of these soulmates. And a lot of times we do things to get the soulmate, and then after we get the soulmate, get married and settled in, then you stop looking the way you did when he when he met you. Because sometimes when you meet these people, they just look all adorned and hair done and just look just beautiful. You say, oh, that's my wife. That she's And then later on, you get married to them. They just let themselves go. They don't take care of themselves. And oh, I got him now. He ain't going nowhere. It's not that ideal he's going anywhere, but you still have to make sure you keep your appearances up. And that was how you got him. Make sure you keep your appearances up, and make sure we stop giving these brothers a hard time. They might go through a hard, because marriage is for better or for worse. They might go through a hard time or go through a phase where they're not working, or got laid off, got fired, or whatever that happened on the job, and then immediately you start nagging. You out there looking for a job? We got bills, That's not how you support someone. You have to support someone by encouraging them. We always talk about encouragement on the program, because it goes a long ways. It goes a very long ways in all aspects of your life. You have to encourage people. You have to encourage your children. You have to encourage you. You have to even encourage your pets. When you do something right, you give them a little treat or something, you know. So we have to make sure that we are standing by the person that we ask God to bless you with. And back on this subject, when we were talking about a lot of times when God sends you these people, they might not be in church. That's your opportunity to win a soul there and to get them in church. Because he could be, because sometimes these people in the church are not good mean people. So sometimes the Lord will send you somebody with potential. When the Lord sees someone with potential, He'll put them in a place where they can go the next, or they'll take the next step or next phase in their life where they go up to the next level. And when He see that potential in them, He'll put them in you because you can bring it out of them. And that's your job when you meet these people. You will know. Just pray about it when you meet these people, and they say, "Oh, I used to go to church," and they have an ideal about how it works, and if they have that's all you need is an ideal, and that's why sometimes you hear people when they meet people, they say, "You're not supposed to be doing that," because they have an ideal of how church people or people that claim to be Christians are supposed to be acting. So we have to make sure that we conduct ourselves a certain way, especially as women in the church. And you have to be virtuous women. We was talking about that last week about virtuous women. You have to be a virtuous woman, and you can, because God given women a gift to draw. You can draw someone to Christ, by the way you carry yourself, by the way you conduct yourself in public, and how you act around Him, because all the questions you should that should be answered before you walk down the aisle. What type of person he is, because a lot of times people are good people. They just don't, just not a regular church goer. And if they're one of those people that you see potential in them, like God sees that potential in them, He'll put them with you sometimes. Not, I'm not telling you go out and get somebody off the street, but what I'm saying is when you'll know when that person has potential, and God will put you with someone that has potential. And when they have that potential, it is your job to be an example to him. And you can't be an example if you're always nagging him and yelling at him and throwing shoes at him because he can get him to go to church with you Sunday morning, or you turn over and roll over and say, go ahead, But long as he support you and don't tell you don't go to church, and he's doing everything he can as a husband, he is the one for you. It is your job and your opportunity. That don't mean you go to church looking for somebody else because he ain't going to church. And you have a lot of church folks that do that. That's why they can't stay in a marriage. They get rid of their soulmate just because he wouldn't go into church at the time, and go get someone that's in church and they're a bigger devil than you ever think. Because just because somebody is in church does not mean that they're of the church. That don't mean the church is in them just because they're going to church. Because if you're going to church, the church has to be in you. And if it's not in you, that don't even count. You just going to church to fill up a seat. So we have to make sure that we are really supporting our men, and don't be saying, I gotta go to church. You fix your own breakfast. If he likes breakfast every morning, you fix breakfast even on Sunday morning. You get up earlier, fix him breakfast. Have a warm plate, put a note there, and hope to see you in church. Just put a note on his plate or near his plate saying, hope to see you in church. And who knows? If their breakfast good enough, he might just show up. And, once you show up, you have to make sure that churches have welcoming programs for, the husbands that are coming to church for the first time. Don't make it all obvious. Oh, we're glad to see so-and-so here. Because people don't like to be put on the spot. Do you have anything to say? You'll just say welcome, because and don't make it obvious, and my husband here, you start throwing yourself all around. You get all embarrassed. He's not gonna come back because you just embarrassed him. So just don't make it too obvious. Just be just be cool about it, and then he'll come back the next time. But make sure you dress to the nines when you bring him there. You should be like that every Sunday. You should leave the house, looking nice, and he'll say, "Oh, where you going? Oh, that's right, you going to church." And then one of them Sundays, he might say, "Well, I'm going with you." So we have to make sure that and then when we have a husband that's already saved, make sure we're supporting him. If he's in the ministry, don't be overbearing him and not do that. Because I know so many first ladies that tore up a ministry. Don't be one of those ones that always trying to tell your husband what to do in the pulpit. Oh, you shouldn't do that, or you shouldn't, or one of the ones that as soon as he say hello to one, say, "What you talking to her for?" Or because you don't like a sister in the church, you get mad because he say hi to her. You got your mouth stuck out. The whole service, everybody else going and having a good time. You got your mouth stuck out because you didn't had an argument with him about sister so and so. Don't be one of those women. Be a virtuous woman. Make sure you're supporting your husband, and when you're supporting him, things will work out a lot better, and you'll easily get him in church. And because a lot of times people, then you have to find out. We talk about this on the program a lot too. You have to find out why they don't go to church. It might have been something that went on in the last church they were in, or if they hadn't been to church since they were a kid, they probably went because they were made to go. And just tell them it's all right, And if your church has men's program, where the men's get together, they go out and do things. Tell them about that, if they have like little brochures or flyers or something, give them the brochure about, they're going to play, especially if he likes to play ball or something. Oh, the men got a basketball team at the church, and you get him in there, and if they got the right type of people that are going to church that are involved in that program, they know how to work it in there, and witness to him and tell him their testimony, and once you tell him their testimony, he bond with them, then he'll start coming to church on a regular basis. There's so many things we can do to get our brothers in church, because most of the times you go to churches, they're mainly women in there, and it's not because they're not married, it's because their husband's not going to church. But we need to find out why they're not going to church. Ask that question. If you visit a church and they like that church, continue to go. Don't go that 2 times. And he liked it when we went, and you ain't been back. Make sure you go on a regular basis, and that way you'll keep him involved. You keep him interested in the services and in church, and because we need our men in church, because they set an example for young men in church that are coming up. So that way, when they have their family, they'll know that that's a family day. And a family day on Sundays includes being attendance in church with your whole family. Make that a day that, where your wife don't have to cook, take them out to dinner, if they're not visiting. Make sure you visit your loved ones, on Sundays, especially if when you get out of church. And most churches are not held long. I know our services are not that long, but we do get everything done within the time that we are there. So it doesn't have to be like it used to. You be in church for 4 or 5 hours on Sunday morning, running into the afternoon and evening, and you still having service. Or the choir sings for an hour and a half. Most churches don't even have a choir anymore. So we have to make sure that we are supporting our men and keeping them interested in church, and and sometimes, like I said, sometimes you are the only light they're gonna see for a while. So make sure you let that light shine by being gracious. He needs breakfast, fix him that breakfast. Don't be fussing. I got to go to choir rehearsal, and you can't even sing. Come on. Like the choir gonna miss you. They probably be glad you don't show up. Oh man, she ain't here throwing us off. So make sure that we are supporting our husbands and just being there for them, and then you'll get it in return if you support them. As we have especially in the black and brown community, we have a bad habit of not supporting our men. Make sure we are supporting our men. That's why a lot of times you don't see them in church, because they don't want to hear all that fussing and going on. You want them fuss boxes. Don't put the Lord in it. The Lord gonna get you, you devil. Come on. All right. So make sure we are supporting our men and support our brothers. This is Pastor Larry. We're going to be signing off until we meet again. Oh, we're going to mention on March the 30th, we're going to be having family and friends at New Zion Christian Center. This is our first one, and we hope to have it on an annual basis, but this will be our first family and friends. We have a lot of guest speakers that will be coming out, and we're going to have a wonderful, wonderful time in the Lord. We're going to be serving dinner at 2 o'clock on that day, and the service is going to begin at 3:30. So make sure you are there at 2 o'clock. So as soon as you leave your church, you don't have to go home and cook that day. You just come on over and we'll have dinner for you. Make sure you're there at 2 o'clock. Get there no later than 2:30. Make sure you get there and get you a plate. And if you happen to get there right at the end of it, we have carry out. You can take a plate home with you, so we can get rid of the food. We don't want to take nothing home, so make sure you're there. And we're located at 15014 Desplaines Street in Plainfield, Illinois. Our services normally begin at 11 a.m., but on that day it's going to begin at 2 a.m. for dinner and 3:30 p.m. for the service. So hope to see your face in the place. This is Pastor Larry. Until we meet again.